student varies greatly for every year of pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, elementary, middle and junior high, through graduation from high school. Charter schools have shown that they know the cost of properly educating varies at grade level, or at least at the traditional building level, as most of them are kindergarten through 5th or 6th grade. Some of the local private schools claim that it takes about $20,000 per student. Maybe it's time to change this formula. Birth through elementary grades, perhaps at around 4,000, and maybe middle school or junior high can stay at around 7,000, and the high school can rise up into the 10,000 or so area. These numbers here are just meant as an example. We need to get back to the days when we could afford more options at the high school level. Not all students are college bound, and we need to expose our students to other valued lessons like vocational and occupational skills. Somewhere along the way, the burden of paying for retirement and insurance was shifted to the schools, and therefore paid for out of per pupil allowance. And the charter schools do not pay as much into these benefits as the traditional school system. The traditional school systems do. It seems that charter schools are showing up everywhere, and this flaw in the foundation formula is the profit for their shareholders. The foundation formula is broken. Please fix it. We don't really have that local control like we allegedly had. Together, let's fix the real problems. All of our students deserve a real education. Again, all that being said, we are faced with the prospect of consolidation, and the citizens must be allowed to vote on this issue. And you gentlemen did address some of those questions. There are a few in there that you haven't yet, and I think it's something that we need to look into, please.
No more comments. Ms. Mills.
Yes, sir. I have a written statement to my Representative Rutledge, to Representative Rogers, to Mr. Menzel and the WISD, to the BoE Board and Superintendent, and to the Willow Board and Superintendent, and to the residents. As a resident of Ypsilanti Township, I am very concerned for the future of our district. It is my desire that we should be innovative and progressively moving forward. However, as a concerned citizen, I am concerned that the collaboration on the consolidation will not advance us into the future. We all understand that both districts are struggling with a budget deficit and poor academic performances, which brings us to the most important question, as Representative Rogers stated. And that question is that we must ask ourselves, why do we have a budget deficit and poor academic performances? We must ask ourselves because no one else is responsible except these two districts here today. Then we toss the threat of an emergency manager coming in to take control. Is that what we need, or can we show ourselves to be financially responsible to the constituents that have elected us? We claim that we have the best teachers and the best financial planners. If that is true, why are we in this position of such great deficit of money and academics? Those questions were rhetorical. I know that we have innovative teachers. I know that we have great money managers. It is apparent that when we want to see the academic scores advance upward, or when we want to see the budget balance, we can accomplish great academic scores, and we can have balanced budgets because we have had them in the past. We talk about unifying two school districts that are unstable. These are the kinds of actions that will keep us in a deficit. We have sought recognition and we have a desire to make our schools better, but we have not accomplished that task. Two business owners will not go into partnership if there is not a benefit of growth production. Is there a benefit of growth production here? No. Will we be better off than we are right now? No. We can no longer look for the easy way out. We have to look for new innovative ways to change the climate and environment. We cannot just react to temporary fixing the situation, but we must be proactive with ideas that will cause us to seek and create revenue for our schools. And An issue that has not been addressed is the birth rate of children in the community. The birth rate of children in our community has reduced, and the children are not being born at the rate they once were. Instead of unifying these two districts, we need to unify the schools within the districts. We are concerned with birth through 12th grade, then let's house all of our students of the district in 1 or 2 buildings. That cuts the budget drastically, and both districts can build a new school if they need to. Our classrooms should reflect the same and not have less than 20 or 25 students in a classroom. When we have fewer students, then that is a classroom, then that in a classroom, we cause the deficit to grow within our district. Both districts have tried a lot of new methods, which have cost us a tremendous amount of money. This new method of unification we are talking about will be a very expensive process and will only relieve us by $2 million. We are in a deficit of $12 million plus, and we want to take 20 years to pay back $2 million. This makes the problem a problem of our future rather than dealing with it. Most of us have become smart enough to know that we don't take a 20 to 30 year mortgage on our home by the evidence of buying a car at the cost of $20,000 to $30,000 and paying it off in 4 or 5 years, than to buy a house that costs $50,000 and paying it off in 30 years as this debt. It does not make sense. Do we need to make changes? Yes, we do. Are these the changes we need to make? In my opinion, no. However, the final decision belongs to the voters.
Trustee Horn. I'd like to, is this on? Oh, okay. Oops, excuse me. I'd like to address both State Representative David Rutledge and State Representative Bill Rogers, Superintendent, although he's gone, Mike Flanagan, our 2 superintendents, Ypsilanti and Willow Run, and both boards of Willow Run and Ypsilanti. I understand what some of our trustees are saying, and I know that this is a very, very good opportunity for both districts. I have been hearing about consolidation for years. There was a group at one time that in the community, just community members, not a part of a board or anything, that had a lot of discussions about consolidation. I think that during this time, although both districts are struggling, I agree, with academics as well as finances, but I think some of our community members saw years ago that this was the way to go. And I respect that and appreciate that. I also feel like this consolidation is the golden opportunity to reinvent both districts into one. I believe that strongly this community would like to see a world-class district, and if we can't do it alone, we can do it together in one district. And I really, really think that we can be trailblazers in this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you. Other board members that wish to speak?
Ms. Stewart?
I appreciate what Mr. Wilde said, and he made many, many good points about the financial situation we have found ourselves in. Not always our own fault that this financial situation has arisen. Also, I appreciate concerns about improving academics. We have 2 failing school districts, we have 2 financially failing school districts. Can we get together, can we put it together and make a success out of it? I'm still just a little concerned about that. But I do appreciate Mr. Rogers and Mr. Rutledge and Mr. Flanagan coming and at least giving us some assurances that they will help. But just financial help and just, some organization assistance won't be enough. We have to be totally devoted to creating a whole new district, a whole new way of looking at educating children. That has to be the focus. And sometimes in some of the stuff, I don't see that as the focus. it's got lost in some of the words for me.